Okay, so I guess now we get to yap and hash the guys. So I guess I could play some music a little bit. I'll turn off in-game music. Man, that was so dumb. So dumb. My hands hurt now. Da. Oh, background music's already off. Last time, or did we just not have music? Let's see what the outbreaks are. I don't know. I feel like shiny hunting in this game is just so ass. Like shiny hunting deerling would be so ass in this game. All right, let's Masuda. I heard these are the opposite coin what we were doing earlier. But yeah, so these are the these are Squirtle. I think last time we were releasing Bulbasaurs. So now we're just doing that with Squirtles. And we'll just do it until like my hands recover, basically. Oh my god, that last one was so stupid. I can't get over it. Ah! So stupid. So silly. So stupid. Okay, so here's the thing. Oops. Let's see. Probably. So I am hunting at lower odds. I do have the shiny charm. And obviously we're using the Suda method. I just like don't want to hunt the starters in the wild. I'm being so for real. Okay, so as we know, right, I used to teach dance, and one of my students turned 18 in September. But so she turned 18 in September, but she's Filipino. And me, the dumbass that I am, did not realize, like, obviously turning 18 and just like American culture, it's like a big deal. Like you're an adult, you can get a tattoo, you can legally sign documents, you can go to real person jail, big person jail. You get a lottery, you can enter the state lottery, you know. Privilege. I think you could also purchase a gun at 18. So yeah, it's a big deal, but I did not realize in Filipino culture that they obviously there's a word for it, but it's not that there's like a more of a specialized term for it, but I don't know what that term is, right? One, and two, it was described to me as a debut. The invitation said, "Hey guys, I'm having a last minute debut," and I was kind of like on the fence of going because I was just like, oh, like debut as like an adult, you know. That's what I thought. I was wrong. I was wrong. So I knew it was like fancy because one of my other students' whole family was going. So I was like, okay, like it's like a big event. Okay, like maybe I'll go. I'll try to go. And then that was it. And so I you know. So I was like, okay, time comes, and also the invitation says, you know, like, okay, like dress code is like formal, however you'll interpret that. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, it's like a big deal. It's not like an 18. It's not like it's going to be like a rager, right? Because that would be super inappropriate to be invited to families too, and also, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, we'll see what this is. Like, I didn't know what I thought she was just like, oh, I want to have like a big birthday party for turning 18. I didn't think it was like a whole ordeal. I did see this little thing in the invitation that said, "Oh, don't wear green because that's my color, but I would like to see which colors you choose." Ironically, everybody else just chose black, and I was like very awkward. Like we all know that pink is my color. I was very awkwardly that one guy who was one of the people who was not wearing black. Thankfully, there were some other people, um, other guests who were wearing blue, and I felt, see, the colors. We followed the invitation, right? And actually, there's a funny story about that dress I could tell later. And so yeah, I get there, and it's a party, so I arrived at like a regular time, like a little bit later, right? And I walk in, and first of all, there's like an entourage. Okay, there's an entourage of the birthday girls, like I guess like 5, 9, basically 5 to 9 chosen people to be in her entourage who are also wearing this deep green color. And I sat, and they're like at like the same tables, this really long table, and I'm thinking, am I at the right place? Did I somehow like walk into like a wedding reception on accident? Like I don't think so, because I see like 18s, outside. So I'm curious. And not to mention, part of it was giving the reason I was like, oh, like wedding reception. It was because like they were giving like speeches. Okay, they're giving people were giving speeches. So I messaged one of my students that I was like a little bit closer to, and I was like, hey, are you like at the venue? And she's like, yeah, they're doing speeches. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm at the right place. And then I was like, is there like a seat open like near you? And she goes like, yeah. And then so she's like, yeah, just come to the front table. I was like, god damn, okay. Like, oh shit. Like when I peeked in, everyone's also wearing black. So I'm standing out because I am late. I'm the only people standing and walking, and I have to move to the front. Unbelievable. So we get there, and like these people who are giving speeches, they're talking about how the birthday girl, how proud they are this person's growing, and they give them, I think it was 18 candles. Was it 9 roses and 9 candles? The candles were involved, but I also saw her holding roses. Okay, like I don't know. I was late again, but by the time I got there, she was receiving candles, but I did not see 18 of them. And okay, I'm muttering to my friend out here in between speeches, like I didn't realize that this was like a big event, and they were like, I didn't either. So we did some quick Googling, and apparently it's a big deal. Oh, hold on. Anyways, so apparently it's a big deal, and I felt like very incorrect looking up like, okay, so the card says debut, right? So one would think that then a smart person would think I should look up Filipino debut. I did not do that. Okay, the birthday girl was in a really big ballroom, the quinceañera, and her like green dress, and I was like, so naturally, my stupid ass looks up Filipino quinceañera, and then Google comes in with suggested as Filipino debut. And I'm like, I should look that up instead. So that's the Filipino quinceañera, because that seems incorrect and insensitive. And that being said, though, if you do not know what a Filipino debut is, it's kind of the same energy as a quinceañera. It's at 18 though. There is, however, still a father-daughter dance. I guess the people who are giving speeches are meant to be like people who are older than you, who have known you your whole life. Let me rephrase this. People that you have known, like you're kind of like for your 18 years and have made a big impact on you, and they're like the kind of people that you have chosen, right? And they were called, I think it's the 18 Lights, which is very Kingdom Hearts-esque. If you know, you know. And I guess like traditionally, right, a debut is traditionally for a man, go figure. But like these days, I guess Like men get the roses and women get the candles. I don't remember. Hold on, I'm gonna double fact check myself really quickly. Okay, here's what the Wikipedia says. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know where he's getting this male female thing. There's something. There was something that like that I was reading that was like male female line, but Wikipedia says this. Okay. On her 18th birthday, a Filipino girl customarily throws a large party similar to a quinceañera or a sweet 16, complete with her own hand-picked entourage of 18 individuals or multiple sets of 18. I think in this case it was just 18 individuals. In most cases, the debutante may choose 18 roses and 18 candles if she wishes. The sole purpose of the rose is to honor the closest males. Oh, okay. I skimmed it because it's rude to be on your phone, especially when you're at the front table. So I just briefly looking at this Wikipedia article. Yes. Anyway, so the sole purpose of the roses is to honor the closest male to the celebrant. This includes uncles, cousins, close friends, or significant other. Candles are the female equivalent of the roses. Most debutante celebrations prefer the number of people participating up to 18. This is why they keep it to 18 roses and 18 candles. The celebrant's decor usually wears a formal dress such as Western black tie or like a Filipino traditional dress. I do not know how to pronounce it. Like Tagalog? That seems incorrect. I try my best. Um, which makes sense. This makes sense. The guys who were the entourage, the male members of the entourage were definitely in suits. The female members of the entourage were in ballroom length gowns that were all matching in color and style, which is interesting because I feel like modern day bridal, like modern day bridal party, they do same color, but like find this color, but whatever dress fits you the best. It was interesting. They were also the girls were also wearing fascinators, which was very British of them. Very interesting. Okay, so I came in during the prayer section of it. Oh my God, what am I saying? The speech section of it. But according to Wikipedia, a typical ceremony begins with a short prayer invoking blessings upon the debutante. She then enters, performs traditional dances with her court for their guests. The most important one is known as the Grand Cotillion Dance, usually a waltz. I wonder if they did that. The student that I was closest to was also like late. And 18 roses or 9 roses dance is also done, in which 18 or 9 males of the debutante's choice dance with her after presenting a single rose or her favorite flower. It was a rose in this case. I don't know if that was because of tradition or she really likes roses. Um, the dance is almost always preceded or concluded with a father-daughter dance, and in this case, it was concluded with the father-daughter dance. They played what was it? That one Taylor Swift song that I was like, wow, like it's a little bit funny because like a little bit funny. Just because it was like old Taylor Swift. It was like from like Fearless album, and I was like, I I don't know what I was expecting for father daughter dance, but like it wasn't that. It was one that's like, is it? It was it. Is it? Don't you ever grow up? That one, like, oh darling, don't you ever grow up? Don't you ever grow up? Just stay this little. That one. I don't know. It was that one. It was that one. I don't know what song. What the title it's called. The debutante also has 18 or 9 candles presented by the female friends, by female friends or relations. Each delivers a short speech about her relationship with the celebrant and any special greeting and lights a candle that is either in her hand or placed in a stand. In this case, we were, I think it was like those like the battery powered ones. But this makes sense. I came in during the speeches, so they did the speeches and I did the dances. Makes sense. Oh my god. Hold on. Oh. Anyways, so that was a Wikipedia article that I was skimming, and like it was fine. It was fine. It was just like, you know, she herself is 18, right? It's 18 debutante. Um, so most of her friends were going to be like 18 or slightly younger, you know, because family friends and shit. And I, you know, almost 25. It's like, you know, I'm definitely an adult in the room. Like, I'm in the weird age. I am one of the only people here in that weird limbo of not in college, but also not like a parent. You know, so that was me. It was interesting though. It was definitely interesting. Um, she sang 2 songs. I don't know if that's traditional or that's something that she wanted to do. It was great though. I think she did Cupid and then some, I think more traditional, like I don't want to say traditional, but like more culturally like relevant like Filipino song in the sense that's like in the same way that like a lot of American weddings, they're Sweet Caroline and even it's like cult classic, you know, energy, like something like that. I don't know what the title of it was, but I think she did a I don't think it's that she did a bad job with Cupid. I think just that she did a really, really good job with the second song. I was like very impressed because there's some parts I was like, yes, eat, man, you know? And it was, yeah, it was pretty good. And after that, you know, we got, I mean, there's dinner obviously included. Dinner was okay. I don't know. I wasn't, I think just what I got wasn't like, what I chose from the buffet was not like suitable to my taste palates. I tried everything. I tried most of the stuff. I just wasn't like a big fan of it. I guess they had kebabs. The kebabs are really really good though. I'm not gonna lie. And we ended up. What was it? What was it? What was it? So then you know they were playing box but like box were like around my age. Like songs that were popular when I was like in like late elementary school, early middle school. You know. Like they were playing like old Selena Gomez, like what's song that they were playing, and I was like talking to my former student, and I was like, were you like old enough to remember the song like when it was popular? You know, like I don't think, damn, you know, that's what I was thinking. Um, and she didn't give me an answer. She kind of just ragged on the fact that I thought that she was so young. But to be fair, it's an objective fact. She is young. She's still in high school. Um, I was impressed. And then they started playing, and then you could tell it was when it was time to dance, because then they start blasting Beyonce Diva, and like 2 of the girls in the entourage, like they weren't twerking per se, but they were like twerking energy, you know? And that was fun. No one really got up and wanted to do shit though, because I think a lot of her college university friends, it looks like, there was a whole ass empty table. And they came in much later, like about like when I was like leaving. There was like she is like in like a Filipino dance group, like traditional dance group. And like people from that group were there, but like I would say mostly it was like older people. Like family friends, like who were like and like uncles and stuff, like uncles aunts. Like that was kind of mostly the demographic. So we were so they start playing, you know, Diva, and it was very awkward because ain't no one doing the getting up and dancing. Even though you know, Diva is a bop. It's Beyonce. It's always a bop. I just didn't feel like it's you know it's the social contract thing, you know, where it's just like, oh, this doesn't feel like socially appropriate to like just get up and start like twerking, you know, even though that is the energy of Diva, you know. So the debutante had to coming up the mic again and say, "Hey, that's your cue to dance, by the way." And then the DJ, who is I guess one of her cousins, starts to play cringy ass line dancing. And I am not opposed to cringy ass line dancing to getting people to encourage to start doing stuff, to start standing up and doing stuff. But it was a little bit a lot. It was a little bit a lot, I'm not gonna lie. And I was like impressed. I was like, because I have not been to like okay, listen. When I was in high school, I hated going to school dances. 10th grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, I was forced to go to homecoming. I hated it. Never went to them, which are horrible. 11th grade, I wasn't going to prom. My mom was cool with that. And then my friend, one of my friends in high school was like, "Hey, he was like kind of like half joking because all of us were saying like, oh yeah, no, she would never say yeah, like she has vocally said she does not want to go to prom. So he was like, but the thing is, if you went to prom as a couple or bought, let me rephrase this, if you bought tickets together, you got a discount on the tickets. So my friend goes, "Hey, you want to go to prom?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, okay." And it's like seconds before we were released from lunch and allowed to go back to like our lockers and shit. It was really casual because I remember he was like, "Oh shit, like really?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Who cares, you know?" And that was actually that was a fun prom. That was so fun. It the food did suck. I got steak. Oh, okay. I realized at the university that people don't get um dinner with with prom. People usually just treat it like I guess or like homecoming where they go get. Hello, we're talking about a Filipino debut, and I'm talking about d giving some background from when I was in high school, when I was the debutante stage. Anyways, oh my god, what was I saying? So I realized once I got to university that other high schools, I guess they don't. I thought this was a normal thing, but I guess not. I thought that they give like dinner with prom. Like it was like a meal, and then you guys hang out and dance and shit, you know? And I found out, once I got to university, that no, that was just a my school thing. That is not the norm for prom. I thought it was. My bad. Uh, but yeah, no, junior year it was great. My friend did, however, have an allergic reaction to. It was a big deal. It was a huge deal because we were a very small school. My friend has an allergic reaction. An ambulance was called. Her boyfriend decided to skip out on prom, and she said, That's cash money. That's chill. I'm still gonna go with the girls." So she had a uh so yeah, that was a big ordeal. I remember that. That was kind of unfun. And the following year for senior prom, she just packed her own food. But till this day, whenever I meet up with her, she's overcoming her dairy allergy. But like we still talk about that one time she almost died at prom because it's now that we're so many years away from it, it's kind of funny. But so back then, right? They would play shit like well, not the Macarena because it wasn't that cringy, but it was like I guess Cupid Shuffle, never Cha Cha Slide either. I feel like Cha Cha Slide was like definitely like a ninth, 10th grade energy thing. So imagine my surprise. Here I am multiple years later at this 18-year-old's debutante's birthday, and they play to get everybody, off their ass, the freaking Cupid Shuffle. And that was like, okay, I have to be, like positive influence on these children to have a good time, a good and safe time. And one of the kids, I think she's like 12 or 11, and my sister was like this a lot too. She's like very shy and didn't want to like do shit. And since Cupid Shuffle, it's very simple. I always forget how many lefts, how many rights there are. But you kind of just if you kind of figure out really quickly what the rhythm is, especially if you're like just running into people. Um, I had to kind of like I was trying so hard to get one of my other former students to join in on the line dance. I kept on using the line. They tell you what to do in this one, It's a line dance. They tell you what to do, and everybody looks equally silly, you know? She did not want to. It was fine. It's chill. And then I was like, okay, so they're gonna my brain goes, okay, they're gonna play like the line dance, like Cupid Shuffle, to like get people on the dance floor, and then playing regular dance music, you know, whatever, you know, whatever's hip with the kids, you know. And then they play the cha-cha slide, and I'm like, ain't no way, I'm sitting down for this one. My knees are already hurting. Ain't no way. It's also it's cringy, and I'm an adult, and I do not wish to participate. There are enough people dancing on the dance floor. It's fine. And then I was my friends like, and by this time, you know, I already had another commitment to my other friend because we were gonna go out and go get drinks together, and then she had to push it off one day, push it back one day. So we had said, okay, the same day, you know. And I don't know why I keep on running in circles. If I'm being so for real, we already hatched the guys. So she goes, oh, what am I saying? What am I saying? So it's about time to leave, you know, and it's about around the time-ish I would leave, okay? I knew my friend was going to be getting off of work around the time I was going to be arriving at her house, so I'm like, okay, you know what? If I'm like arriving a little bit later, like that's probably going to be nicer for her. So it wasn't like in a super rush, which is kind of like being mindful of the time. So I told my student who was closer to me, like, hey, you know, if they're going to play the same energy of cringe, like I'll have to leave soon. But I'll stay if they start to stray away from like the same level of cringe. And I would say overall, right? Oh fuck, they played Wobble too, which is I was like, man, what a that one was giving me flashbacks to middle school, you know, which is wild because these kids are a lot younger than me. So I'm thinking, okay, so they went shuffle, Cupid Shuffle, Wobble, and then Cha-Cha Slide, I think? I don't know. Because I feel like Wobble is like fun in like a memey way. Cupid Shuffle is kind of just like good vibes, get people off their feet. And then Cha-Cha Slide, cringy. We're getting into cringe territory. And then goddamn, so not shiny, right? Anyway, so I'm saying, okay, I'm out of here if they continue to play cringe because I'm out. My dumbass out here is thinking, okay, there is not much more cringe than like Cha-Cha Slide. If we're being for real, that's what I'm thinking. Like this DJ who is like maybe 20s, which if he's in his 20s makes sense. We're around the same age. His musical taste, music prime would have been same as mine, so like that makes sense with the music that was being chosen. But I'm thinking, like, you know, they're not gonna hit the Macarena. They're not gonna hit the chicken dance. You know, surely the Cha-Cha Slide, which is like 18 minutes, is gonna be the last of it, right? No, they play the Macarena, and I was like, that's it, I'm out. So then I left to go home, change, and meet up with my friend. But like, God, they really played the Macarena. Like, when was the last time you were at a party and they played the Macarena and like expected people to like do the Macarena? Because I can't tell you if I've ever been at a party and they played the Macarena. It was a hump from me. But you know, overall it was cute. It was cute. It was cute. I'm glad I went. I really wish they did not play the cringe line dance music all in a row, but like, okay. Like, real question, what else would they have played? Post Macarena. Like, Macarena is long though, you know, but like, what else would they have done? Real questions. Real question. Pause. But I, with my students, because I have such a baby face, I've talked about this a few times. But my younger students have no idea what age 18 looks like. They have no idea what age 18 looks like on a person. And I have a baby face, and I could be a little bit silly goofy sometimes. So my younger students, I always, when they would say stuff, I'm like, how old do you think I am? Because they'll be saying shit like I'm 15, and I'm like, I am not 15, man. I am not 15. So I would, talk to them, and I'm like, how old do you think I am? But I'll tell you how old I am. But like, how old do you think I am? And they would say consistently 17, 18, which is incorrect. So, but with my older students, I always thought they knew how old I was because one of my older students had an older sister with whom I'm pretty good friends. And they know that we're about the same age. So I asked my friend. I asked one of my older students who was at the DW, like, how old do you think I am? Because I think it was around the time when I was saying, like, oh wow, old Selena Gomez, like Selena Gomez and the same old Selena Gomez. Like, how old do you think I am? Like, that was the question. And they were saying, like, God, what are they saying? They were like, oh, like, I thought you were at this age, but my mom thought you were like 22, 21, 22, which I am not. I am older than 21, 22. I'm out of college. But yeah, I have a baby face, but we are getting closer and closer to my actual age. I remember when I was 16, that's when one of my cousins got married. So we went to her, I think it was the bridal shower. Because honestly, her bridal shower and baby shower for her first kid, they get kind of blurred together for being so for real. But for a bridal shower, I was 16 at the time, and my sister is 3 years younger than me. And we're a really small family. Like, we're like my extended family. There's like not a lot of us out here, okay? So I think the guests who were my cousin had a really big wedding, really big wedding. She had, and part of that was because her aunt has a lot of connections. So it was like a lot of my aunt has a lot of connections, her mom. So it's a lot of like her mom's like friends and stuff that were like at the wedding. And there's about I want to say like a 7-year age gap between me and my cousins. And this subset of cousins, and this cousin in particular, I think in her mind I'm frozen at age 16 forever because the way she regarded me when I was 16 has not changed in the years since I have graduated college, since I was in college, since I graduated high school, and it's all the same. Just 16, I guess, in her eyes. Like, okay, that's chill. But so knowing that her extended family was at this event, at the bridal shower, they some of my aunt's friends comes up to like me and my sister, who was 13 at the time. I'm 16, the 3 years age gap. And I think they knew that one of us was 16, one of us was 13, and there's a 3-year age gap, so it's plus or minus 3 from 13. They look at my sister, collectively identify her as, okay, let me rephrase this. My sister and I, when we're out in public, and especially at this time, I looked older just because I was 16 and she was 13, but like now that we're both like post-puberty, like we look about the same age, So they go up to my sister, they say, "Ooh, you're the cousins of the bride." My sister and I quietly go, "Yes," because we were shy in front of random strangers. And this person did not introduce themselves. They just walked up to us and said, "Oh, you're the cousins of the bride." Like, and we're like, "Yep, yes, we are." We don't know anyone here, but yes, we are. And then she goes, this woman goes, oh, so then you must be the 13-year-old, she says to my sister. My sister nods, and I'm thinking, damn, this is probably gonna be the first time we get our ages right. I thought foolishly, because I'm sorry, but there is a very big difference between a 10-year-old and a 16-year-old, you know? So looking at us, you know, if they identified us as 13 and 10, me being 13, her being 10, at least I got the order of the ages right, I guess, you know? So then she turns to me. I'm thinking, oh man, she's gonna first rando to ever guess my age correctly. She goes, so you must be the 10-year-old. And I was thinking, huh? What part of me says that I'm 10? I look like I'm done with puberty. What? And I understand puberty hits at wild times, anytime, any age, within a certain age range. But like, hello? And to this day, I don't know who that woman was. But I think about it from time to time. It was what? It was what? Like, a big hump from me. I've never. And I'm sure people with like a baby face can like also identify. And you know, I've also been told throughout my life, like, oh yeah, you'll appreciate that, like you're a baby face, like that you have baby face like as you grow older, and da 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 da. And you know what? Like, sure, whatever. But I don't know. At age 16, being identified as a 10-year-old, yikes. But now, especially, I feel like in January, I think I told the story before. In January, I was chaperoning my students. We were at a festival to perform, and there was some time before we had to get ready, and so they wanted to wander the festival. And I was like, I will chaperone you guys so that you can have fun. There's an adult presence here, and also like someone to keep track of the time. That was my job. And some lady came up to us and was talking about voting, and all these kids are underaged. And I don't know why. I think I usually just say, "Oh, I can't vote," and then get out of it that way, regardless of whether or not it's true. Because I just don't want some random person like hounding me to my face about voting, no matter what side it is, you know. So this woman is like, "Oh, look, are you guys old enough to vote?" And I don't know why. I'm so good at getting out of these, but for some reason, I said yes, followed by I think that, and then I thought, oh god, I don't know what I said because then I said, oh, I'm not registered to vote, and they're like, oh, I thought you registered, and I said, no, I just pretended to be an apathetic non-voter, I guess. And then this is after knowing that the kids sometimes think that I'm like underaged. So and these are like the older kids too. So after we walk away out of earshot from this woman, they go, "Why didn't you just lie and say that you were also underage?" And I said, "I don't know." But now if someone's gonna hound me like that, I'm just gonna lie and say I'm underage because that was such an uncomfortable situation. So I have one more to go. But yes, same level of cringe. The Macarena. The Macarena. Like honestly, the only thing honestly I think it's above cringe, above the Macarena level of cringe, but like the only thing that they were missing was like Gundam Style. Because if they got Gundam Style, like then it'll be cringe, you know, but at least we have the full range of cringe. I genuinely wonder what other shit they pulled with them. What other music they got after they got out of the cringe music era. Because it was a bop, you know. I just wonder, you know, sometimes. Hmm. Oof, I feel like I never yapped for that long. I never yapped for that long, and I've done a really good job at just keep talking. Not to pat myself on the back. I've been trying to be conscious about how quickly I speak because I know I speak really quickly, and I think I did a bad job at that today. But it'd be like that. Also, what's happening with the music? Oh, word. Oh, word. The music just quit on me. That's super awesome. Let me fix it. Task manager time. Task manager is having a hard time right now. But end task. There we go. Hello, hello. We were just talking about honestly, we were talking about like school dances for a good little while. Then the music stopped, so now we're dealing with the technical difficulties. But they're almost resolved. Oh, this must have been on shuffle. Honestly, wild. Let's pull up something, huh? No, it's not. We just got through stuff, and I just don't remember. That's wild. Anyways, oh my god, guys, that the bite is like acting up again. God, do I go spray it again? We have like the anti-itch stuff. Oh my god, actually no, I'm gonna go spray it because this is gonna itch for the rest of the time. So now we get to look at my BRB sticker, my BRB sticky note. Honestly, it's like multiple bugs have like bit me. My knuckle. It's ridiculous. Or it's or it's just a non-mosquito that bit me on my knuckle. Man. Ooh, here's another story. I don't know why we're like going back to like, the high school era of my life, but like when I was in high school or senior year, like I went to like high school in Arizona, and like Arizona is just like a 6-hour drive away from Southern California. So like when I was a kid and Disneyland was cheaper, um, like we would, I wouldn't say frequently, but we were able to like make trips to Disneyland pretty easily, by just like driving. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but Disneyland, at least in California, has this thing called Grad Night that runs from like May to June, and they basically closed California Adventure early and like let like registered schools hang out in California Adventure until like 2 a.m. They're like locked into the park until 2 a.m. And it's usually schools from like the Southern California area, I would say. So for us, we were able to raise money to do Disneyland Grad Night. And it was honestly such a fun time, like bonding. Like we did like dollar donuts in the mornings and afternoons. And then in the hotter months, we did ice cream and root beer floats like every other week to rake in a lot of money. We hosted like events, like I think we hosted a cornhole tournament. We hosted like a senior talent show. It was honestly doing the bonding to like raise the money. Like that was honestly pretty fun. I remember. But like I remember in so we raised money to be able to do this, and I remember we were able to raise the money that like no one had to like pay extra. Like no one had like there wasn't too much of like I think we all might have had to pay about like 10 to 20 bucks depending on but like for the most part it was like all covered um because we raised hella money. We were very determined. And oh, that was the last one actually. And we so my school had a tradition where since there was like only about like 60 people per graduating class back then, they would have an event called the senior toast where you would have dinner and members of the faculty would had a pre-recorded video where they gave you a short little speech talking about, you know, how proud they were of you and how excited they were for you to go out into the world, right? And after that event, we all piled into 2 buses and set off to for Southern California. And honestly, I remember one of the buses got lost, like getting to the venue, and we were just kind of waiting for a really long time, and the venue like was being really weird and like kind of kicked us out. There was something going on. People were standing behind the bar. I think like just getting water though. I don't know. I don't remember what happened. I wasn't a part of that. All I know is that at some point we got kicked out. And you know, I was going through a situation with a friend. They pulled a bad friend move, and I was mad at them. I don't remember what. I think it was, if I'm being so for real and honest with myself, it's probably something about like them just like not being honest with me about something, and then them kind of like making me look and feel like silly in a way that like you as a friend should not be doing to your friend. You know, like you need to have like your friend's back kind of shit. And so we end up like going. God, we end up like. So we're waiting for the bus, and I remember some of my friends, oh my God, these people were not my friends. Some of my classmates were like being hype because at that point we were kind of just running on fumes and adrenaline, and we were all like, oh, we're just gonna like be asleep on the bus, you know? So they go, oh, and the reason why I bring this up is my goal was to sit at the front of the bus so I can have 2 seats to me. And like my friend, as I was going through it, something with she just started dating this dude in our class, and if I sat at the front of the bus, it mitigated so many things from happening. There's because there's so many things working in my favor to have these 2 seats by myself because again we're going through the dead of night, and we're driving in the dead of night when we race, and so I remember we're like waiting for the second bus to arrive because one of the buses was there, but the other one was lost apparently. Despite the fact this is like 2018 in the age of technology and GPSs. And my friend goes, my classmate goes, Disneyland, let's go, and kind of starts hyping people up because at that point, what do, right? We're excited. We had spent the entire year raising money for this event, and most of us pitched in to like working the events or to somehow contribute. And I think maybe one of the most I found them very difficult to interact with, personally speaking. I will not speak for other people on other people's behalf, but he is. It was very snippy. He was very tired, and was like wanting to shut this behavior down immediately, and was very rude to like shut the hell up. Chekhov's gun. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. So we drive through the night, and I remember we get to the first like gas station, and no one has been able to fall asleep. Oh, and also my friend with whom I was going through a friend fight didn't pick up on the signs and sat next to me, and it was very awkward. But they were like, I remember like we get out to the first check stop, and I was trying so hard to fall asleep. I was desperately trying to fall asleep, and I remember at some point we're at the first check stop. I open my eyes. I'm irritated that I can't fall asleep, and I turn around to the person behind me. I know the people who sat behind me very well. Like we were just like we weren't even acquaintances. We were just classmates. You know, I didn't even like these people. I turned around and I said, "Have you been able to fall asleep yet?" And he goes, "No." And I'm like, I didn't say pog, but that was like kind of the energy. Like awesome. And then I turned back around trying to fall asleep again. But somehow, some way, I did end up falling asleep. And I was, oh man, I don't know. I ended up just like, we wake up, okay, and we're basically at a McDonald's that's near Anaheim General Hospital. And my mom, this is before we converted to Life 360, is looking at find my friends or find my iPhone, whatever. Sees and find my iPhone had me firmly in Anaheim General Hospital. She messages one of the chaperones with whom she was friends. One of the teachers. It was one of the teachers. She was friends with this teacher because she was also a mom of. She was also the mom, and her kid was like in my sister's grade, so they knew each other that way. I never had this teacher. She was a Spanish teacher. I didn't take Spanish in high school. And she messages this person is like, "Oh my god, like, did you see this? Like, huh? Like, you guys are at the hospital. Is everything good? Is everything okay?" Very funny. We were just like brushing our teeth at this McDonald's. We're just waiting for this McDonald's. I remember brushing our teeth at that McDonald's. Like, the regular people who were just like going to McDonald's to get food and going to the bathroom because they were not on a road trip were looking at us like we were very crazy people. Very fun memory. So, we eat our food, get back onto the bus, head into Disneyland, and it's weird. My school is full of nerds who did not dare break the rules, okay? Like, some of us did break the rules, but it was like minor infractions. Like, none of us were like doing like illegal, illicit shit, We were all very well behaved. Like, the funny thing is that people thought that they were badasses, get into university, and then like go, oh no, we're not. So, I should probably order my food, huh? Let me pause. Let me order my food really fast. Oops. Awesome. It's still open. And some crab. Wait, hold on. I should modify that. There we go. Okay, food has been ordered. Anyway, so we are not the type to be breaking the rules, breaking the law, breaking any shit. And we get to Disneyland, and they say, okay, it's also wild because I do not know why this person brought this thing with him. A representative from Disney says, "Hey, don't bring these items that are illegal to bring into the park. Here, just a reminder, here are the rules." I remember one of the rules being like no chanting, which we think is funny because we're like, oh man, so you can't say. So you're saying that we can't sing our fight song, which references Odysseus and Zeus, and Gosh, I don't remember the rest of it, but I remember it references Odysseus and Beowulf. Like, come on, like we're nerds. We are nerds, and at this point, we just buy into that image. That was the joke, but we are very respectful because we figure that this person is going to have issues with other high schoolers. Like, we are not going to be the problem children. We had just traveled 6 hours by bus during the dead of night. We also raised money to get here. And part of that money went to like the buses, right? So we weren't just raising money to like go to Disney to like for like the entry fee. We were also raising money like for the buses, which like for like local California schools we're not gonna have to do, So they're like, okay, if you have any of these items, leave them on the bus. That's what they were saying. Someone on the bus raises their hand. This was the only new student that year. He raises his hand. The woman calls on him. He says, "I'm an EMT. I have this knife. Should I bring it into the..." It's great. It's so good that he... preceded that with I'm in with I'm he's not EMT, but he was EMT in training. You know, he knew how to like he had like emergencies, I guess, or whatever. Woman says, thank you for being trained and asking, but no, we know Disney has their own shit. And he was like, okay, I just wanted to make double sure, you know, whatever, you know. I just remember that being like really funny because like of course. Anyway, so they have us go through security, and it's like I don't know if you've been to Disneyland in a hot minute, but like they don't have drug sniffing dogs on you. It's not the airport, you know. But I guess, you know, high schoolers, I can understand why they would pull out the drug sniffing dogs. So they had us, you know, check our bags that we are basically encouraged to not bring at all, but it's kind of wild because you're telling me that you're gonna have a whole bunch of kids like basically go on this like 24-hour trip. Or I guess it was more 24 hours. It was like 36 hours. This 36-hour trip. 48 maybe? 48-hour trip? Maybe it was maybe 48 hours. It was 30. It was like it was 36. Let's say 36-hour trip. And have people not brush their teeth? Ain't no way. You're gonna tell people to not bring like a battery pack? Ain't no way. So people just brought a bag anyway. Said, who cares? I was one of those people because I'm like, I'm not gonna not. As someone who's prone to cavities, I'm not gonna not brush my teeth. You know. Also, that feels disgusting. So you know, they rifle through. They do like the bag search, making sure that, you know, we're not bringing in drugs. Mostly, drugs is usually the problem with the high schoolers, or vape pens, or anything else illegal, and it would be anti-Disney friendly, family friendly image. And then they also have a drug sniffing dog. And I just remember that being funny. I also remember I had a G-Shock watch at the time, and the guy the security guy who was rifling through my bag also had a G-Shock. So I made a cheeky little comment. Hey, nice watch. He didn't get it until I was walking away. It was good though. I remember, so we got to the park at 8 a.m. It's fine. My friends, I was like kind of like, I was bouncing between like two friend groups. And the thing is, I remember, God, there was this one girl who was, I feel bad for her in some ways because she and I were both like minorities in terms of like ethnicity in like our grade, but she had to be a little bit autistic because she definitely struggled with like reading the room and sometimes managing her emotions. But, you know, when you're already not running on a lot of sleep, this is already kind of like not the behavior they want to deal with, especially since this individual did not really participate in raising money at all. So it was like they were vocally whiny about a lot of things and acting kind of spoiled and entitled and kind of just not self-aware in that response. But we were just trying to be nice, you know. We had all worked really hard for this. We didn't want this to be a bummer trip for anybody, you know. So my friends and I, we kind of just like let her hang out with us. But like it was really weird. She was having an awful time for some reason. She kept on going like, she was in concert choir, and the concert choir at my school, they had a California trip where they would participate in a competition and then also do a Disney trip. I don't know how they paid for that. I was not in concert choir, but that was the thing that they did. And the concert choir trip was a few weeks before, so she technically had been to Disneyland, but like the concert choir trip, I can't imagine that they're there for the whole day until like the crack of dawn, i.e. 2 a.m. You know, which is what we were going to be doing. And it was kind of just gonna be fun because they also have like little like stuff like Disney raves and shit, you know. And I remember like my friends and we said, okay, we're going to be spending our time in Disneyland California Adventure from like 6 p.m. I think it was to 2 a.m. when we're gonna be locked into that park. So let's spend all our time during the day on the Disneyland side. And this is 2018. No Star Wars Land in California, and also unfortunately a lot of California Adventure was undergoing like construction for Pixar Pier rebrand. So it did make our trip a little bit of a bummer, but it's okay. This is also still when like it's a Bugs Land, so no Avengers campus, no Avengers stuff. But yeah, I think that's all the new stuff that's in the park today. And they were kind of like Disney was kind of just like in that transitionary period. But you know, I remember we're having fun. We're having fun. Just like doing shit. I think we did like Haunted Mansions, Space Mountain. We did Space Mountain. That was super fun. We were just like doing shit, you know. And I remember like there was a competition among some of the guys in the class of who could get the silliest on-ride picture. And I remember someone in the class brought playing cards so that they can like be silly goofy on. They could and they pretend like they were playing poker for the big drop on Splash Mountain, and it was funny. I'll give them that. You know, some of those guys in the class were assholes. I would never talk to them again this year, in today's day and age. But it was a funny idea. I will give them that. And the picture ended up really good. But so this girl, she's going like, man, like I was just here. It's crappy, and you know, like I was just here, and she's like kind of bringing the mood down. But and we about midday, we were trying to shake her, could not shake her for no reason. We could not shake her, and she was, I don't know. Let's be a lesson that if you're going to drag down the mood, let this be a lesson to like, I know managing emotions can be hard. Sometimes we're just not in the mood for it. In that case, sometimes it is good if we have the space to ourselves to like gather our shit together again, you know, instead of like bringing the entire, because like I know that's like really rude to bring down the entire vibe when it's like not that serious, you know. It's not like someone died, you know. She was just upset that she was like, or at least what she expressed to us was that she was upset that she was just at Disneyland and she had quote done all this shit already before, as if she wasn't getting like a free trip to Disneyland. So it was like kind of wild. It was really wild. I remember at some point, I don't know how I managed to, I don't want to say ditch her. I don't know. Oh, you're good. We're just talking about that one time I did the Disneyland grad night thing in high school. But yeah, I don't know how I ended up ditching her, but I did end up ditching her. One of my teachers got a reservation for a small group of us to like eat at one of the restaurants, so I was able to pop in on that. I might be willing to play a couple, like one more game or two, but like I've been having fun yapping. I hear. How about this? We can and ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of female squirrels for like a batch of like what, 5. If you play again, you'd be happy to join. Yeah, I'll see if I can. Try to boot up another game, but at the end of stream. How about that? But yeah, thank you so much. I am well. I hope you are well as well. I know this week's a little bit irregular stream schedule. Yeah, we'll play a couple of matches after. Well, at least try to get through. We'll get through this box and see how long it takes for me to get done with with the Disneyland story. But oh god, what was I? Oh yeah, and so we ate at like one of the restaurants. It wasn't the restaurant that's in Pirates of the Caribbean. It was like one of the ones nearby. We got beignets. It was awesome. Our teacher was super generous and was like willing to pay for us. Super awesome. Eventually though, the time comes for us to be locked into California Adventure for like until 2 a.m. There was no leaving early. You're just stuck. Okay. And Disney tries to make it fun. They have like a little area set up for like photos and like little Disney raves. And I remember because my exposure to like school dances, like people at my school actually dance. They didn't like jump into a circle and like lightly bounce while trying to talk over the music to each other. This is another way I was kind of like sheltered in like the weird way that my high school operated. And I remember, oh my god, Ashley knows this is so funny. One of my friends, she was on Splash Mountain. It was kind of a chilly day, and I just didn't want to get wet because you were not going to be drying off. You were not going to be drying off, period. You know. And so she was in line for Splash Mountain, and there was some dude behind her who was also in high school, graduating high school, and was just hitting on her. And she was kind of just being polite, you know. And she told us about this encounter later. We were all laughing really hard because we were like, "Damn, bro was hitting on you." You know, it was kind of funny. So here we are in California Adventure, where our teachers were super chill. Teachers who came onto this trip were super chill. We were a very well-behaved class again, so like they didn't have to. Our teachers weren't policing our behavior. They were, however, policing inappropriate behavior of other students who were at this Disney grad night, which I think is super funny. Um, did he know? Did he know what? That he was being made fun of? And by me being made fun of, like, you know, like I don't know, if we were talking about him behind his back. I mean, he should. Yes, 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 he was. He would, because he was there for grad night as well, so he was also a high schooler. He was also a high schooler. It wasn't. It wasn't like a creepy thing. It wasn't a creepy thing in the sense it was like someone significantly older, hitting on this 18-year-old. No, it was an 18-year-old hitting on another 18-year-old. So that in that age regard, it wasn't creepy in the age regard. Creepy in the way that some random dude is hitting on you in line and you can't, you know, leave. Yeah. But so we're in Cars Land. We're in Cars Land because I think we were like, oh, like, yeah, let's go ride the Cars rides, plural. And or it's either that or we're trying to cut through to Guardians. Like, I can't remember. Both might be true. And we run into this dude again. His friends. It was so funny because my friend was like, oh, I don't want to be hit on again. In front of my teacher, whom I respect, and my friends, whom I also respect. Even though some of them were there for the first time when he was hitting on me the first time. And so she goes, hey, yeah, it's cool to run into you again. These are my friends, introduced us by name, and this is my teacher, and introduced the teacher. And bro clammed up so fast. I had never seen a human man clam up that quickly. He then very formally, in a really weird formal way, shook my teacher's hands, all of our hands, but did like a 2-hand clasp to shake my teacher's hand. And was like, yeah, oh, we have a really nice time, you guys. And it was like very like host energy. It was very funny. It was very awkward. This bro probably does not remember this event. I, however, will remember this event for forever because it was so funny. You're so jealous you've never been to Disney World. I've been lucky enough to have been to both California and Florida, but since I grew up in Arizona, right? It was in the regards to travel, it was easy to like just do the drive to Southern California. And for this event, you know, we did raise money all year to be able to go to Disneyland for grad night. But yeah, we were very privileged, very lucky to be able to have done this. So I don't know why that one girl was like throwing a fit about, oh, I've been here way too often. Like, man, tell us that you're like. And her parents were immigrants. That's the crazy part. Her parents were immigrants and like had to work to like really hard. It was just wild. Her behavior was wild. I have not seen her since graduating high school, thank God. But like, just like the behavior was just kind of was unhinged and had been unhinged since the 6th grade, because the school was unfortunately a 6th through 12th. But yeah, it was pretty fun. The Disney raves, people would just kind of like do what they do at parties now, where they try to talk really loudly over music and like kind of just like bounce a little bit, I guess, on beat, I guess. And I remember we were all kind of like at this rave, the Disney rave. Okay, they called it the Disney rave. That's not the moniker I gave it. That's what it was called. And we were with our teacher, and we're like, man, this is lame. And our teacher said, well, unfortunately, this is the caliber of party that you have to look forward to for a good while. And we said, oh, great. And you know what? He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. That was a caliber of party that I had in university. Just people not. That's not true. When I was like at a party with like my friends from my dance group, we did do actual dancing. That wasn't just like standing and huddling, but like yeah, pretty lame, I guess. Disney rave. That's what they called it. They had different areas. One of which was the Disney rave. That was the one that we were at. It was weird. It was really weird. I remember, but I do remember. I think someone in line, and this is around midnight now. Someone in line was saying something extremely inappropriate. It was another student, and we rarely seen like this one teacher go into teacher mode in the hot wild because like, not that he was never like inappropriate with us, but he was just very. He knew that we were able to behave ourselves and therefore didn't have to pull out the big teacher voice. You know, the big one, the one that they use when they're scolding somebody. But so it had been quite a long time since I had heard his teacher scolding voice, and then he pulled it out in line on like some boys. It was really funny actually. Damn, we have having no luck. We have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 boxes of just nothing. But I do remember, like, in the crevices, as teenagers will do, there were just people, like, eating each other's face off, and it was very uncomfortable, just, like, moving through as the night wore on. I also remember, earlier in the night, Disney security was tackling somebody in a bush because they apparently smuggled in weed, and that was a sight to see. It was quite the sight to see. It was kind of wild. Like, it was really quite wild. We're like, anyways, because like why would you if you they were very clear with us at what substances were not allowed. Weed was on that list, maybe the top of the list. And why would this person like squander that opportunity? Because like not a lot of people get to go to Disney because it's expensive, and I get it, but like this person was able to do this, like, you know, I don't know, I did wild. But so around 12:30, you know, we have been there at the park since 8 a.m. and this is off of a night, with not a lot of sleep. So we're all getting tired. And we had been at the park since 8 a.m. And technically, we were able, someone was able to get a room. Like, one of the adults ended up getting a room. People do like their weeds, it's true. But someone ended up getting a room for people to, like refresh themselves, to, like, take a nap if they need to. It was heavily monitored, but, you know, it was just, like, a space that you can, like, rest a little bit during. They kind of just got it for the day, though. I think, if I recall correctly. And but like, so some people were able to take like a little bit of a nap during the day, but overall we were still very tired. It was a great opportunity for us to, like, you know, be young and to do this thing at Disneyland, but like tired. And we end up, there's a Starbucks in Disneyland California Adventure. And I remember my entire class, and the Starbucks was open, by the way. It was open. Makes sense, right? To serve coffee and shit, you know? But, oh my god, I remember my class, for some reason, was using the Starbucks as a place to pass out until 2 a.m. came around, and we were able to finally leave the goddamn park. And so once I was hitting my, like, okay, I'm tired, I'm gonna brush my teeth. Brushing your teeth in a Disneyland bathroom, you get a lot of funny looks, by the way. You know, I'm tired, so I enter the Starbucks, and people are just passed out on chairs, on tables, anywhere that wasn't the floor, really, and was kind of like you wouldn't be yelled at for, like, lying down on. It was honestly hilarious. And here comes the checkout stop. 2 a.m. finally arrives, and by this point, the entire all 60-ish of us are like we're like in the Starbucks, and we're just like walking together to exit the park and find our freaking class and blah blah blah. And we're like, someone, when you get sleep deprived, some people get really hyper to kind of let out the last of their energy before they crash, right? So somebody, oh my God. Oh my God, no. So what happened before the trip? Well, we were waiting for one of the buses to pick us up. I think I mistold the story earlier. But like, oh my God. One of the really person who's really annoying in the class. Like, I kind of felt bad. Because like no one really liked him, not even his own sister seemed to really like him very much. But part of that was because he couldn't really handle boundaries. He could not handle boundaries that people put down and said, "Hey, I'm not really comfortable with you standing this close to me. Please don't do that." And he would push that boundary. He would get closer to you, more into your personal space. Hey, I'm not really comfortable with when you say this thing, and then he would say, "Oh, well, why not?" Like, okay, be an asshole, I guess, So he, before we were leaving, was like, "Yeah, Disneyland, let's go!" Ah! And like just like screaming, and we were all tired and wanted to get on the goddamn bus so we could fall asleep. So fast forward, next day, 2 a.m. Someone else is kind of, after a large group of us, we're kind of just like, "Yeah, Disneyland, let's go, woo!" in the most tired way. And bro was prickly. Bro said, "Shut the hell up." It was a great reversal from earlier in the whole ordeal, but it was I remember people were kind of like, "Oh God," like they kind of like laughed silently to themselves because we had never seen bro mad like that before. Like, this is the kind of person who will insist that chess is a sport but dance is not, in a way that in hindsight I think that he just got confused on what sport means and what competition means, and that while these things can overlap, they're not the same thing. I don't know. Apparently, he's about to graduate law school, and that really terrifies me. Because he was a very annoying person to deal with in his personal life. I can see him becoming a very successful lawyer, but at what cost to society, kind of thing, like it or not, we all know those people from high school, from university, who are just not fun to be around, but their career path makes sense. And this is one of those people. But yeah, I remember my mom had volunteered to help put shit away. So while everyone else got to be picked up by their parents, once we got back home, on yet again not a lot of sleep because sleeping on a bus is ass. I had to stay longer because of my mom, and I was so pissed. I was pissed in the sense of like I'm overtired. I'm basically at like a 3-year-old's energy right now. I remember I got home and I was just like asleep for like the rest of the day until the next day, and I woke up early the next day. It was great. But I do remember on the bus to California, I was like lying across 2 seats because my friend was like, "Oh, I'll just like sit on the floor," and I just didn't fight her. And I was like, "Okay, whatever, sit on the floor. I don't care." I was tired. So I was lying across these 2 seats, and I think I had like my hand out so that like my hand was kind of like out like in the aisle, but like not like blocking the aisle, just kind of out in the aisle. And the person who was like very spoiled about the entire trip was like very into K-pop. Again, she was like, her family was from Singapore. They're like first generation immigrants. Like she was like on a green card. Like she was like she remembers living in Singapore, right? So she was very much into K-pop, and she was really into anything that really kept her in touch with the Asian general roots. Which I, as somebody who's also Asian, going to also a very white school, like, I understood that. But I remember she was very very into K-pop. And this was the night that like Pita Numur dropped by BTS, or Pita Numur, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears by BTS released. So I remember this person rushed from the back of the bus to the front of the bus where I was because she wanted to talk to my friend. And she just kind of like, it is my fault for having my hand in the way, but she kind of like careful about it. She kind of just like yeeted ahead, you know, like it was like it wasn't a full sprint, but she did not care about who she was running into, you know. And that was like I was like almost asleep, and then she woke me up, and I just remember being like unbelievable. But yeah, it was a good trip. I remember that. That was always that was a fun trip. Alrighty, I think we are going to hatch these last few eggs, and then I'm going to go to the bathroom really fast. I'm gonna go to the bathroom really fast. We're gonna play maybe like 1-2 rounds of Splatoon because my food is almost here. And then I'm going to actually we're not gonna hatch the last of these eggs. We'll do that some other time because my food is close here.